Hello people of the internet, my name is Bojack and welcome to part 2 of my top 20 favorite Ki Blast Supers in the game. Be sure to check out part 1 first before you actually watch this one. So, I'm going to reiterate what I said in the beginning of part 1. This is my top 20 favorite Ki Blast Supers. Not exactly the best, my favorite, based on maybe the damage, maybe the look, how funny it is, hitting someone with it, things like that. They're all factors going into this list. So your favorite Ki Blasts may not be on this list. If they aren't, let me know in the comments below. But let's go ahead and get this started with number 10. At number 10, we have Gorgeous Shot. This move is actually useful, which is weird because it comes from Zarbon, so you wouldn't expect it to be, but it's a lot of fun. This move, you basically just jump above your opponent and blast down to the ground, which doesn't sound useful until you realize that Gorgeous Shot also puts the opponent up to you. So not only can you blast them on the ground to the air, you can bring them up to you and just start pummeling them again. And on top of that, yeah, you can also just lock them if they're stamina broken and infinite with Gorgeous Shot, kind of. So it has its usefulness, but I just love the fact that you just blast the ground all of a sudden. Like there's a bug on the ground and you're overreacting to it. At number 9, we have Bigbang Kamehameha. This is one of those moves that's not that great on the character that it comes from, but put it on a CAC and it's going to do a lot better damage. Specifically if you put it on a Saiyan, a Super Saiyan. Because it's one of those moves where you charged up and then you teleport. And it does a lot of damage. It's not the most damaging Kamehameha move, but it does so much damage. And on top of that, the front part actually blocks Ki Blast. So you can have someone try to stop you by blasting at you and it's not going to work. But the only problem is it does take a little bit of a charge time to build up, and people do try to spam it a lot. So it does kind of dock it down a little bit, but this is what I use for extra missions. This is the move I use for extra missions. Because screw the computers, there's no shame in beating the crap out of a computer. Number 8 has Perfect Shot. This one I'm sure a lot of you have encountered online because it's one of those moves that all you gotta do is just launch your opponent away and you're pretty much guaranteed a hit with it. On top of that, it's one of those moves that you can use as a way to extend into a teleporting move into something else. We've all been fallen victim to it, but that doesn't deter the move itself. The move itself is just satisfying. Like Bigbang Attack, it's one of those multi-hit moves. But because of the fact that it's so easy to hit with it, I can't really put it much higher than number 8. I love the move. I love the way that you fire it. I love it when Cell specifically fires it, not your custom character, because the way that he says vanish just is amazing. But the amount of people I've seen spam this move online just docks it for me. I can't put it any higher. At number 7, we have Death Psycho Bomb. It's kind of under the same category as Perfect Shot where you have to launch it away to really hit it, but because it doesn't have the extra versatility that Perfect Shot has, and the fact that I've almost never seen this move used online, ever, it actually is pretty harmless to me. It honestly is a really satisfying way to kill your opponent because you just pick them up and blow them up in true Frieza fashion. So the fact that it's not really been seen that much online, it is a little spammable because all you have to do is knock your opponent away. But it's just so fun of a move to use. I never see it used. I'm actually amazed because it's really humiliating to your opponent. So more people maybe need to use it online. I don't know. At number 6, we have Rovers Launcher. Finally, I'm done with the Bojack moves. But Rovers Launcher is a fun move because you launch out a Ki Blast and then no matter what, you're going to teleport behind your opponent. So even if you miss with the first one, the second one will come out. It's a nice little surprise attack for those that don't really know. And honestly, because Bojack's not that great of a character, most people probably don't know that it does that. On top of that, if you happen to make him shoot it backwards, just by accident or because you want to do that, you're still going to teleport. The first Ki Blast not hitting is the best part of this move because the second part will be a surprise to those that don't know what's coming. If you know it's coming, whatever, but if you use it in a combo, it's also just a really humiliating way to kill someone because you're pinballing them around with Ki Blast. That's just hilarious to watch. At number 5, we have Ki Blast Cannon. Ki Blast Cannon's an interesting move because it's really satisfying to hit with it, but it also just stuns your opponent whenever you hit them with it. So what this does is effectively makes it to where you can just kind of make up combos with it. It kind of just extends your combos for the cost of one Ki bar. The move itself isn't really that broken because it doesn't do a lot of damage, and again, it only staggers your opponent. But the fact that it's able to super glue combos together that really have no right to be a thing is actually a really fun aspect of the attack. But you need to have a combo that gives you enough Ki back to keep it as an infinite. But the fact that it's able to super glue so many weird combos together nets it at number 5 on my list. Plus just blasting someone with it to finish him off is always going to be hilarious. At number 4, we have Smile Charge. Smile Charge is Android 17's move, and it is exclusive to him, so again, it gets knocked down a couple of points for me. But it's just such a satisfying move. You just basically picks him up and blasts him. And occasionally you can get a close-up, which just makes it so much more satisfying as you can just see the look in 17's face as he's about to blast your opponent. But that doesn't trigger all the time, which also kind of makes it dock down a little bit because I want to see that close-up. I want the satisfaction of to blast that stupid person in the face. But I don't get it most of the time. But I also have to dock it down a little bit because it is kind of spammable because it has a tendency to hit, even though it shouldn't, because you teleport at the beginning to grab them and then blast them. But it has no right to be hitting, so it's a little bit of a weird move. I like it, but also I'm happy it's not on any other characters. Number 3 is another tie between Kaioken Kamehameha and Earth-Splitting Gallic Gun. Both of them solve the same dilemma that you need. They both cause 2 Ki bars and are just the maximum charge versions of whatever the regular one is. And that is a really, really useful thing because they're so quick to fire out, you can pretty much get them out of a knockback combo and blast your opponent with them, but they cost 2 Ki bars. So they do a good amount of damage, but they're also a little bit balanced, and that's why I like these moves. They're not terribly broken, and honestly they're about the same. Gallic Gun's going to do slightly less damage, but it's not affected by Ha. Kaioken does more damage, but it's affected by Ha, so pick your poison on those two. They're both pretty much the same, but again, they both follow the same purpose. Number 2, we have Spirit Bomb. I love this move. For one, it's one of the few moves in the game I feel like needs super armor, because that initial charge up leaves you pretty open, but it's one of those moves that's most useful when you actually stamina break your opponent first. But unlike most of the other moves, it has almost equal damage to an ultimate. It's insane the damage you can launch with this move. On top of that, it's a multi-hit move, so it's actually useful for hitting Great Apes with it, and it actually comes back. Some people don't know that. If you miss with the move, if it doesn't hit anything, it's going to bounce back, like when Gohan bounces it back himself. And it catches so many people off guard because they don't know it's coming. So it's a useful move, one of the few that's allowed to have super armor in my opinion. It does so much damage, only costs 1 Ki bar, and on top of that, it can surprise your opponent. It's all in all just a freaking phenomenal move, but it's not number 1. And finally at number 1, we have Burst Kamehameha. I love this move so much. It's really fast, you can do it out of combos, it's versatile, you have the option to do a second burst using a second Ki bar, and it does more damage. Also requires timing, because if you do it too early, you won't maximize the amount of damage you need. It's a move that's not mindless, it has versatility, you don't have to use its full power. What's not to like about this move? Plus, the burst aspect of the Kamehameha looks so cool. The only problem I have with this move is that if you play against the Super Saiyan Blue Goku AI, they're going to use this move all the time. But I can't really blame them because the move is just that freaking cool to me. I guess the only downside you could give to it is that you're immune to it if you have the Ha Super Soul equipped. but who cares? The move just looks so awesome, and it's really, really useful. But that has been my list for today. What do you guys think? Did I leave out any that really should have been on there? Leave a comment below, let me know. But as I keep saying at the end of all of these videos, be sure to like the video if you actually liked it. Maybe consider subscribing. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Later.